Hey everybody, what's up? It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and I am live here. This is the Million Pound Mission live stream. I am the host of the top ranked podcast in fitness nutrition category, the Million Pound Mission. For those of you that don't know me, I own a company called TransformationCoach.me. I have a fitness studio in Bloomington, Indiana called Next Generation Personal Training and Fitness. Most of you are my Facebook friend, so you already know that. What's up, Karen? What's up, Lisa? I'm going live on a couple different streams, so if you see me kind of looking back and forth a little bit, that will explain that, hopefully. But I'm going live every Monday night, and I've got both my phones kind of propped up, so if one of them just goes, then we'll have a classic live Facebook moment together. But if you guys have any fitness, nutrition-based motivation, strategy, Q&A, and questions you want to toss out there, just post them in the feed, and we'll take them live here, all right? So any questions along those lines, just post them in the feed, and I'll get you taken care of here tonight live. But I'm going to talk a little bit about just the one simple mindset shift that I've been noticing. Because I've interviewed, I just recorded my 100th podcast today. It's not out until next week, but I recorded episode 100. I never thought that I would get there, but through those 100 episodes, I've been lucky enough to have some really interesting conversations and just pick the brains of some of the brightest people I've ever met and most motivational, inspirational people I've ever met. And I've found that, success leaves clues, and I've talked about that before, but I really feel like the mindset around adversity, when adversity strikes, what you do at that next decision, that's the thing that I've noticed separates the extraordinary people that go on to just accomplish these amazing things and the people who kind of just hit that wall and bounce off and fade away. It's all about that mindset of realizing that moments of adversity are potentially our areas where we can grow the most. That moment when adversity strikes, that big thing happens, that's the area where we can grow the most. So, example, today I recorded an interview with a young man named Nick Santanastasso. All right, so if you go on social media and just search Nick Santo, S-A-N-T-O, he will pull up. Amazing kid. He's in his early 20s. He's a fitness model. He's a bodybuilder. And guess what? He was born with a condition called Hanhart syndrome. He has one limb. He has one arm. I think it's his left arm. It's his left arm. And no right arm, no legs. And he's a fitness model. He's a bodybuilder. He works out. Check out his Instagram page. It's ridiculous. It has him flipping 200-pound tires. And it's sprinting and wrestling and things like that. So, when we talked about when he first started to kind of realize that he was a little bit different than the other kids, and the gift that his parents gave him was that they did not treat him any differently than his brothers or the other children that they interacted with. They basically said, Nick, you're going to have to figure out Nick's way to do things. And they just had him out there. He said he fell on his face a lot, and don't we all? Don't we all? We hit those different bumps in the roads. We fall on our face, but it's how we react next when that adversity strikes. And somebody like Nick rises to the challenge. I asked him what his next big goal is, and he said he's got to get strong enough because he wants to get legs, and he wants to be able to, and he doesn't have a whole lot of quad muscle, so it's going to take an enormous amount of abdominal and lower back strength to be able to wear the legs so he can stand upright and move around with his artificial limbs. So he's just on fire about it. He's such an inspirational individual. Somebody that I talked like a couple weeks ago, Coach Justin Kavanaugh, he was on path to be a professional football player, a professional athlete, and he had a disastrous injury where he fell through a roof or a floor. He ended up falling through a couple of floors and breaking his back and being immobilized, and everything was over. He had to completely, in that moment, decide, all right, am I going to just keep moving forward anyway, or am I going to let this defeat me? And we all hit those moments where we can decide to feel sorry for ourselves and just kind of lose in the situation and give up in the situation, or we can turn it around and say, okay, what did I learn? What can I learn from this? How can I get better? How can I make sure that if this situation happens again, it's not this impactful. I don't have a negative impact from this situation again. And how can I just continue to overcome this and make progress? So that's what I want to get out there this week as far as my little quick message on the Million Pound Mission Monday Night Live cast here. So the next time you face some adversity, just sit back and think, how can I grow from this? I love the story of the old wagon wheel makers where they used to cut the field and they would leave certain trees out exposed to the elements. And it was those trees that were exposed to elements that made the strongest wagon wheels, because they had to face the harsh winds, the rain, the storms, and they couldn't cuddle in with all the other trees and get that built-in protection. So those are the trees that the wagon makers used to make the wagon wheels out of, because they knew that was wood that was dependable, it was the strongest, because it had faced adversity and overcome it. So when we face those moments of adversity, how are you going to react? I want to challenge you to react with a positive mindset, the mindset of learning, thinking about what you can do, not what you can't do, and moving forward and making progress. So, quick preview of what I've got going down the pipe the next week or so with the Million Pound Mission podcast. Today, the episode I dropped had an interview with Brooke Hostetler, 70-pound transformation, amazing lady, and she just talks about her journey, and at the end she talks about tips that she would give somebody that was a little bit nervous about getting started on a major transformation journey. So I want you to check that out. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Go on your favorite modality to listen to podcasts and check that out with Brooke. This Wednesday, I'm bringing on Leslie Durso. She's a celebrity chef, although she doesn't like to think of herself. She doesn't like that term celebrity chef, but she is. And really interesting story, and I think you're going to love her personality. She is going to bring some fun and some flavor to nutrition, into the conversation around cooking and nutrition and fueling our body correctly. So that is something that is going to be very entertaining for you. I think you'll really enjoy Leslie's personality. Check her out at lesliedurso.com. She's got a great website, amazing blog with recipes. She's a vegan chef, by the way, and her stuff is off the charts. So check her out at lesliedurso.com. Next week, I've got some great shows lined up that are in the works. I've got Rebecca Shern is coming on. She is the nutritionist from Minimal Wellness. I haven't really dove into the minimalism aspect of things too much in the podcast, and I get to dive deep with Rebecca. Her partner is Joshua Fields Milburn, who some of you may recognize as one of the minimalists. It's one of the most popular podcasts in the world, and I'm a huge fan of those guys. They've impacted me a lot. So we get to talk about minimalism, and we talk about nutrition and how we apply minimalism to our health and fitness. So super interesting conversation. I know a lot of you have been asking about my interview with Fabio Viviani. Fabio and I are working on an app. I'm one of the people it's his app. I'm one of the influencers that's going in there and recording content right now. I'm putting up videos like crazy. And Fabio, he texted me last night and he said, "You're going to be the Ashton Kutcher of my app." So I assumed that was good. And he started calling me Adam Kutcher. So that was cracking me up. But Fabio's an awesome guy. And we're gonna be putting out an app called Doppel. And that's going to be coming out in March. And I want you to get ready to check that out. It's not available right now. It's in beta mode. But I'm super excited about it. Anyway, his episode's going to be launching at the end of March once Doppel is out. But the concept behind Doppel is so cool. I'll give you a little preview. I get a lot of questions. If you guys have any questions, just post them in the feed. So any fitness, nutrition, motivation questions, anything, post it in the feed, and I will get it answered here at the end. So any questions you have, post them below, and we'll get you taken care of. But so Fabio, this app is going to be called Doppel, D-O-P-P-L-E. Again, it's not out in the App Store right now, it's just in beta mode, and we're loading up content as influencers. And so you can basically, I get questions like, what's the best way to lose weight? What is the best way to exercise? How do I lose 100 pounds? I get those type of questions a lot. So what I can do is load that question up in Doppel, or somebody that's following me in the app can ask that question, and then I answer it with the best video I've got. So I sit down, I think about it, It's not just an off the cuff. It's well thought out, and I answer the question, and that is saved so that if people will go on the app and search, how do I lose 100 pounds? My video will be linked to that, and you get my best answer. So it's gonna be super, super cool. But as far as I understand it, in March, anybody can sign up for Doppel. You can ask any of the influencers questions. You can ask each other questions. It's gonna be really, really neat. A lot of different applications, but I'm super psyched about it because you guys know I put a lot of content out there with my podcast, my YouTube page, all the videos, the blog, and this is a way. Doppel is short for doppelganger, which is like duplicating myself, and it's going to be a neat way to connect. And you get to ask questions. You get my best answer, and there'll be all sorts of different influencers on there. Fabio's loading up stuff. If you guys don't know who Fabio Viviani is, just search FabioViviani.com. He was on Top Chef. Really, really, really cool guy. The episode I did with him that's coming out again at the end of March, he did set a record, all right? He did set a record. He used the F word 25 times in a 34-minute interview, which is impressive. That's impressive use of naughty language and potty mouth syndrome. But he's a hell of a good guy, and I can't wait for you to check that out. So I've got a lot of exciting interviews coming up. Like I said, with Nick Santanastasso, Jay Ferrugia is coming on. Just really, really interesting people. Now, one thing that people have been doing, which I really appreciate, is they've been sending me messages with who you would like me to interview. Because right now I've got a top-ranked podcast, and I can get people on the show. It's really cool when people are like, oh, I've got a new book out. Can I promote it on your podcast? Yes. I love really interesting guests. So if you follow another fitness an influencer, a motivational speaker, anybody that's got a great fitness story, get me connected with them, or just say, hey, I follow this person on YouTube, you should check them out, and I'll reach out to them. I've done that several times already just this week. So somebody that you want to see me get out there on the show, let me know who they are. I'll reach out to them, and I'm not afraid to ask anybody because people are into being on podcasts and being interviewed. It's a cool situation. So let me know who you want me to interview. Coming up next week's the big episode 100. My buddy Justin Shank, I brought him on. We kind of flipped the script a little bit. I actually had him interview me. We talk about what I've learned over the first 100 episodes, and that's going to be coming out next Friday. So super psyched about the show. I just really appreciate the support. I never thought I'd make it to 100 episodes, and it's because you guys, your support. I've got a lot of really cool things cooking. The Keto Done Right thing exploded. So many great people in our test group, and this spring I'm going to do a full-on boot camp both in my gym here locally in Bloomington and online. So we're going to go online keto boot camp and in-house in B-Town, my B-Town, Bloomington, Indiana clients. That's coming this spring. I've got some really cool stuff going on with my Transformed Academy. I'm also going to start a live workout page. We're going to be able to get connected, and I'm going to go live a few times a week doing mobility, follow along stuff. I'll take requests. I'll basically pop on live like this and say, all right, what do you guys want to work today? And you put it in the comments. I'll write up on the whiteboard, knock out a workout. You guys follow along, and it's going to be pretty amazing. So that is the Monday night review. If you guys missed any of it, just watch the replay. I talked about a lot tonight. I've been going on for quite a few minutes now. But the gist of it is lots of excitement. I'm super psyched about the space that I'm in right now, the momentum behind the Million Pound Mission podcast. I'd love for you guys to check out a few episodes, leave a review, let me know if you like it. And again, let me know who you want me to put on the show, and I'll go after them. All right? I'm unafraid to go after anybody, so let me know. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I will see you next Monday night when I go live. All right, thanks a lot, guys.